Greetings everyone and welcome back to Stellaris and of course to the Lost Moon Unification. Now I left about a day following the last episode upload because I wanted to give people plenty of time to get their names into the hat. Now one of the unfortunate truths about Machine Empire is of course that the leaders are immortal. Now that is great on one hand, but it also means we're not going to be cycling through leaders too often. They can still die, they just won't die of natural causes. Their bodies won't break down due to age, for example, but they can still be killed in combat, they can still be destroyed through various events, so on and so forth. There are no backups, even though that seems like an obvious thing to do if you've got a really important unit out somewhere. But we will be renaming them as per the names that I've received and trying to respect the preferences people had. Basically, I've created a name list, and if someone has asked for a scientist, I put them in for scientists, generals, so on and so forth. But those who just didn't care, they just wanted their name in there, I put them in like an overall, a general naming area, and I can just select from that. For example, we have no one who specifically wants to be a governor, and as a result, we're going to be checking out someone who wanted to be a leader but didn't mind what kind, and that will be Envis Cadogan. There we go, a beautiful name. Envis is the Welsh word for rainbow. Right, as for scientists, now predictably most people wanted to be a scientist, so we've got no shortage of these. The first one will be Erasmus, and I've got to be honest, I am very, very pleased with this submission, Stefan, because for those who aren't aware, Erasmus is a particularly important figure in Dune, and as so much is drawing inspiration from Dune, it seems especially reasonable. Erasmus also was a scientist, and as it happens, was also an AI, which is pretty uncommon for Dune. Now, I'm not going to go into too many details on Erasmus in the Dune box because it is a bit of a big spoiler, but yeah, a tip of my hat to you. Well played. Right, so the second scientist. Hamantha. Oop. Oh, there we go. My fingers are incredibly cold, so my typing is even worse than usual right now. Next up, we have Pyro. And finally, Helperpot Y5 shall be renamed to Josiah. Josiah, I guess, or Josiah, I'm not sure where the emphasis should be in that name. Now, do we have any admirals available to us? Yeah, we've got Dapperlings available to us. Now, I've received some people suggesting, oh, just take them out of military service. The problem with that is I actually want them to be available to make armies out of them because they're very good as armies. Honestly, if I'd realized how useful they would be, I probably would have gone for example, they get just a fire rate increase just because they're cyborgs. Why our AI don't have a similar bonus, I have no idea. But oh well, regardless, we'll go along with that. We're not going to take these because they're just not built for being leaders. But we're always going to have them in the leader pool, unfortunately. But we could go with Helperbot N4. Thing is, you're going to cost 100 influence to get because AIs do cost a lot more influence to recruit. And we're about to try and colonize someone, which also costs influence. So we're actually going to hold off on that one. Yeah, I think that would probably be the best idea. Now, a lot of people expressed concern that I'm using my science ships to scout out systems. Now, in my experience playing the game, early in the game, there's very little concern about doing that. However, there is a fair, a fair point to make that generally you could just do a flyby with a military ship because one military ship is significantly less expensive. Especially because you'll generally peel it away from the fleet. So it's just going to be a single ship. The highest ranking officer there is going to be a captain. You're not going to have one of your admirals babysitting a single ship. Or generally you won't, unless you've got some crazy voodoo and you've got a bajillion admirals. Whereas a science ship has a scientist on it. This is an expensive unit, a leader unit. So to put your mind at ease, I will go ahead and do as you request. We'll bring them back. It is a completely fair comment to have made. So yeah, let's get you back as well. We'll just have you sit down for a little bit. Construction ship is doing what currently? Got some minerals. We've got everything in there tapped. Honestly, though, I'd kind of like to tap the minerals and energy over here if we can. Let's pop in, because that is a lot of energy on a single world. It's going to cost us 90... Oh, blah, blah. I keep thinking this. I keep worrying about that, and I don't have it under my dominion yet. Eventually I'll stop forgetting about that. Maybe in like 4 or 5 episodes, I'll stop trying to have my people building stuff all over the place where they can't. Right, so we've split our fleet again, and I'm just going to go ahead and scout out all of the areas which have no names yet. I'll give you 5 destinations. You can also have a similar amount of destinations. You can have 4, and the final one can have 4 as well. And that should give us... there's a little one down there. You can have 5 then. That should give us pretty much a good idea of the position of all... or at least if there's any hostile fleets in any of these locations. And then we can send out our science ships to them as we discover that they're safe. Now, we've got a couple around here that are safe, from what I can tell. So might as well... go ahead and survey these. Ooh, that one's actually got a planet there as well. So, click on an object to survey the entire system. Control click to survey a single target. No, we want to do that entire system, followed by this entire system. And then that one. And our other science ship can do exactly the same thing by visiting these 4 here. There we go. That should... be safe. We know that there's nothing bad going on in these places, that we have got a potentially habitable planet here. No, why are you doing that? No, go here, and then
technological
go here,
acquisition
here,
successful.
and here. Thank you. Right, we don't want to control you anymore. Right, technology researched. We have increased the amount of influence we're producing. Very good times are these. Very good times. That is extremely useful to us early on. Unlocks component, energy siphon. Modulated after a peculiar biological process observed in the Tianaki, the energy siphon excites the energy transfer medium of target enemy vessels. So it'll give us an energy weapon. It has 150% shield damage, though. Maybe something worth looking into if at some point we discover a shielded enemy. Right now, though, that is locked in. We cannot... these are selected randomly, but this one is locked because we've already got some research points into it. So we could just happily move on from that one. Unlock building spare parts. Ooh, this one produces Unity. I like that. A large centralized depot that contains spare parts for every currently active machine model in our empire. It'll also increase the speed that robots are built on the planet. It'll cost 1 energy to maintain. We don't really need to worry too much about the initial cost, generally speaking. But it'll produce some Unity and also society research. I think we cannot pass that up. As much as I would like border range, that one has to be the one we select. So, moving on.
Construction complete.
Thank you very much. It looks like we have got our new... colony ship. Oh, this is an Arctic world. Really not particularly nice for us. No. Right, we've got a colony ship. Here we are. The USS Replication Module. Okay, well, I would like to colonize. Actually, let's turn that off and move out so we can find the correct planet. In fact, I think there is a better way of doing this. Planets and sectors. Is there a better way, I wonder? Let's have a look. Create sector? No, that's not it. What I would specifically like to know is there should be some... expansion planet. There we are. Now then, we want Biltron 3, the desert world there specifically. Is colonizable? Pretty much everything is colonizable for us. Weak magnetic field, the habitability is down, the growth speed is down, but that is not particularly bad for us. It has 8 food, 7 energy deposits, only 4 mineral. That one's got 16, which is amazing. But it has a very decent amount of society research options, middling amounts of physics. But it has 3 strategic resources. And again, 2 of those are incredibly important to us, but it is going to cost so much because they are so terribly far away. We're going to have to wait on that for quite some time, unfortunately. So given that, we could possibly even colonize here just for the minerals, because the minerals would be extremely useful to our planet. Habitability down, engineering output is up though, and it's got 7 engineering areas. I mean, it's not actually a terrible idea. It's a size 20 as well. We could just keep Biltron in mind. We could do that, yeah. Is it this one that we're at? It might be, in fact. Let's have a look at you. No, you're way too small. So, where is... Ah, here we are. I mean, this would drop down the cost of expanding up to Biltron as well, because we would be a little bit closer to parts of our empire. Look at all of this gloriousness there. But it's only got 1 energy. And the thing with that is I'm going to be putting robots on this planet, which are going to cost me energy, which it's a bad trade in some ways. We've got a little bit of an energy planet there, though. And we might be able to... No, we wouldn't really be bringing anything else within our borders. It might be worth my time, depending on what's over here, popping down an outpost just to control this area. Because we're going to need to be fairly cautious with our expansion, I feel. Either that or I wait a while to get enough influence. It's possible we could. Who have we got there? Oh, we've got the Tayanaki. That's not a problem so far. Oh, we have got a very low failure risk. Yes, go ahead. Research this right now. I think, yeah.
Hostile fleet assets engaged.
Okay. We have encountered some form of alien vessel in the Itza system. These strange objects have been flagged as gamma aliens until we learn more about them. Interesting. Let's pause that for a moment and jump straight in. Oh, well, here we are. We have found something not so great. These are... They're not playable species, but clearly this is an instance where if I'd sent my science ship over here, that would have been bad. That would have been strictly not good. So I would like you to return. You've already engaged. You are nowhere capable of this. So we are actually going to lose this ship. There's nothing for it. There's nothing we can do about it. Those fleets are way too powerful, and they immediately engage. Yes. Unfortunately. Ruby Crystal Shardling, Ruby Crystal Shard, Ruby Crystal Quintessence, and they just melted us. What did they use? They used kinetic weapons. Yat Asteroid Dwelling. This asteroid appears to have served as the home of a single Ute. Ute individual. Deep scans show a series of connected caves in the asteroid's interior that follow a pattern similar to the rooms seen in ancient Ute dwellings that have been discovered elsewhere. To learn more, we will have to dispatch an away team to investigate the cave system. Curious. Issue special project, asteroid dwelling. I think we'll check that out. Okay, we've got a new tradition available. Fantastic. Alright, now then, we can increase our research alternatives, or we can increase the survey speed and science ship combat evasion. If we go through that, then every time we survey a planet, we will get 1/10 of our research output, which at the moment, very, very low. So perhaps we don't need to worry about that one. This would only increase the speed by which they can do things, whereas this one will have immediate, quite substantial benefits in that we'll get more random options to choose from every time we research. Then we can continue gaining leader experience. And finally, once we unlock assisted research, our science ships will also generate unity, which will be incredibly useful for us. So of these two, I would like to... See, I could open this one up so that I have this option as soon as possible. But again, I feel that this is the immediate gain. We don't need to worry about this one too much because our leaders, it doesn't matter how fast they gain experience because they live forever, effectively. So this one isn't as important. So I think our progress path will be this. By that point, we'll get this one, and then we'll finish off this entire queue. Okay, so that's the way we're going. There we go. We've got 66 months until we get another.
Anomalous surface variable detected.
Okay, there are signs of activity by an ancient precursor civilization on this habitable world. Sure. Go ahead and research it, please. It's only a level 1 anomaly. Ooh, here we go. The ship-sized crystals may at first appear inert, but sudden shifts in their orientation relative to our ships and new energy signatures emerge from within the prism indicate that they should be regarded as hazardous and approached with caution. Okay, we expect our fleets to break them apart, begin the crystalline entity shard event chain, or issue a special project for remote study. I think I would actually prefer to remote study them myself. Let's go ahead with that one.
Log adjusted.
Let's learn about them. Now, what will that require? That's going to require physics research. Let me just check. Are we close? We're only 5 months out of increasing our energy storage and getting the energy grid. So I'm going to let that finish first before we actually start looking into anything like that. We're getting closer to the point that we're going to be able to expand. We're getting much closer now. A massive ground war was fought on Doltari 2 between the Ute and a second species that we know little of. This campaign took place in the final years of the Ute Empire, and though it occurred millions of years ago, wreckage of ruined war machines can still be found. Although the planet was an important Ute colony, their cities and outlying settlements were never rebuilt after the fighting ceased, which would seem to indicate that they ultimately lost the campaign. Fascinating indeed. Issue special project, Ancient Battlefield. Could we reactivate these machines? I certainly hope so.
Adjusted.
But we've got an Arctic world over here which has wild storms, so physics output is increased, and high gravity. Not a particularly bad thing. That has a lot of minerals, very high physics, very high society research. Also has one special that I might be interested in looking at. How big is it? It's another 23. This is another quite nice looking world. Honestly, we've got pets there. It's not great, but it certainly isn't terrible. That world is actually quite nice. Let's have a look at you. So this one is just over there. Okay, so by taking a little bit more time and being a bit more picky about the planets that we're going to be expanding into, the way I'm intending to play this species is tall and not wide. And by that, I mean that I would like to have fewer planets, but very well developed. Very the cherry-picked best of the planets that I can find, instead of just spreading everywhere and increasing the cost of all sorts of things that go along with that. The more colonies you have, the more lots of things cost, such as research, I believe traditions. So by minimizing the amount of planets, but just picking the best ones for me to develop, I'm going to be able to keep my costs low and then hopefully get an edge over the opposition, at least in technology. But it will mean that my empire is going to be a little bit smaller and a little bit more fragile in the beginning. Sensor echoes have indicated the presence of some kind of unidentified object deep within the atmosphere of this gas giant. Sure, go ahead and research. You're more than capable. Right. And physics research. There we go. We have completed our research. Well, we'll select something. The solar panel network might not be a bad idea. Might not be a bad idea at all. Sentinel point defense would not be terribly bad either, though, I'll be honest, since if we come up against anyone who uses the same kind of weapons as us, that would be a little bit more useful to us. But no, we're going to go with the solar panel network, because then I can have my space stations also help with our energy demands. Right, let's begin this. Finishes in 7 months. It's going to take a long while, which is quite the shame. Okay. Only needs a scientist who's got a skill of 3 or higher, which we do have. We'll allow them to finish their current exploration, and then we'll send them out. Now we just need a couple more months. I know this wait is painful. It's a truly painful wait, but Biltron is the prize that I want to go for. And right now I'm just letting my energy accrue, my minerals accrue. Maybe we should actually consider building some fleet. But we haven't got much to arm them with yet. There are signs of activity by an ancient precursor civilization on this inhospitable rock. Go ahead and research it then, please. Crushed cruiser. The shattered remnants of a cruiser-sized starship can be detected in a decaying orbit deep inside the atmosphere of Lazon 2. It appears to have ventured far into the gas giant's atmosphere, perhaps in a desperate attempt to escape a pursuer, only to be crushed by the atmospheric pressure. The vessel is too deep to be salvaged, but a structural scan of the wreckage has provided us with some interesting engineering data. Oh, marvelous. That will actually have brought us a good way along to our next weapon upgrade, which we're going to put into effect more or less straight as soon as we've got it. Now then, we've got a couple of places where I would like some structures built. Now, we can build the uplink node. I should have actually built that a little bit earlier. A few people mentioned, well, this will allow you to gain more unity. I am terribly sorry. I completely forgot. Right, we're going to build the energy grid right there, and then we'll build the uplink node. Well, sure, we'll build the uplink node over here. And that should help us out a little bit with the amount of unity that we're generating. I would actually like you to be down there for now, though. In fact, I would like that a lot. Quite a lot. Is there any structure we can upgrade? We've got a basic lab over here that we can further upgrade. Now, this is currently producing science, and engineering is the highest thing that we've got. If I were to do that, I don't believe we would drop the physics research. We would just increase the amount of engineering research we'd get. Barren, dry terrain with occasional rocky outcrops. Yeah, all this is going to do is it's going to increase this to a 212 science outpost. So that's actually not too bad. We're basically keeping everything fairly even in production. But I am a little bit concerned. We've lost one ship. It makes a lot of sense for us to build a bunch more. So let's go ahead and build a couple more of these basic corvettes. We're not going to rename these at all. Let's get 2, 3. Yeah, we'll get an extra 4, and then we'll probably merge them into a single fleet just for defensive purposes. Ute colony ship. The partial remains of an ancient Ute starship have been found in high orbit of Litrin 6. An initial analysis conducted by the USS Scientific Module 2 indicate that the vessel may have served as a colony ship. Even cruiser-sized Ute ships were typically crewed by only 1 or 2 individuals given the immense size of their bodies, but this hulk has more than a dozen cryopods attached, each containing withered exoskeletons from what must have been Ute colonists. Okay, we can actually look into that a little bit more. Let's have a look at this then. I need a scientist with skill 3. Okay, well, you are a scientist with skill 3, so sure, please go there. There we are. And wait, you've got a skill 2. Damn it! What's the scientist with skill 3 doing? I believe you... Well, let's actually have a look down. You're surveying something. No, you're moving here. And you're going to do the research project. You, however, can carry on your merry way. I'm losing track of which scientist is doing what work. There we go. And then following that, I would like to start checking out all of these. Now, at this point, we can finally, at long last, colonize Biltron. Ugh, it's taken us a while. Right, let's bring up the expansion planner. We've got a couple of planets available now. Many of them quite small. We've only got 3 that I'm really interested in at the moment for any particular reason. We would like this one to be colonized. Yes, I would absolutely like this to be our colonist. Now, where are we going to plant it? It's actually quite a messed up planet in terms of the blockers, but it should be okay. I'm going to pop it over here. It does mean that I'm not going to get as much... Actually, where we place this, it will create bonuses around it. So placing it somewhere where it's neighbored on the 4 cardinal directions by a tile you can build on almost always makes sense, unless it is something truly epic that you can place it next to along the edges. Generally speaking, though, what the options we have available, not good enough for me to care that much about. Right, okay, so we have actually got a couple of planet names. This one will be Midos. There you go. Marvelous. And once that's set up, we will actually rename Biltron. In fact, yeah, I think we've got to wait for that to happen first. There we go. Are you building a new colony ship? Or is this one on its way? No, it's on its way. Good. I was going to say, please don't be building a new colony ship. That will make me cry. No, what's happening there is we're building starships and we're also building buildings, which is always good. I'm actually going to have my construction ship make its way over here.
Special project complete.
Crystalline entities are unremarkable. The crystalline entities, the name itself, a compromise between rival factions of xenobiologists and xenogeologists on Aavakis, are probably alive. An earlier and perhaps more descriptive name for them was silicate animate matter, as they have little in common with biological life. They are solitary beings, each individual crystal sovereign, rarely seen with more than a sentinel and a smaller cohort entity. Aside from the cohort and sentinel clearly being subservient to the sovereign of the group, the subtle nuances of the crystalline entities' socio-hierarchical relationships are lost on us. The entities do not seem to mate, and we have yet to observe any crystals that are recognizably older or younger than others. Contrary to an earlier hypothesis, the shifts in hue between individual crystal entities seem to be related not to their age but to their latent internal charge, which can be violently unleashed, and it appears as if through sporadic fluctuations in this charge after the refractive properties of the crystal. We will find some use for this information. We can now add the crystal sonar modifier to our empire and spend 30 energy to instantly survey any crystalline entity system when entered. Oh. That's actually not too bad. Maybe then we could jump in there with a science ship.
Congratulations on having
and
colonized the new world.
survey
Our
it.
colonists are now in the process of building their first settlement, but it will take time for them to become self-sufficient.
The colony will be a drain on our resources until the first settlement has been completed. So take care not to colonize too many planets at once. Yes, that is very good advice. Our colony ship has successfully followed its programmed path and made planetfall on Midos. I like that programmed path. Thousands of work units have emerged from the vessel's massive cargo bays to construct an initial deployment post from which the settlement can expand. Efforts to systematically catalogue and designate surface resources deposits are ongoing, and all aggressive wildlife in the area surrounding the initial landing site has been pacified. We are now ready to begin mass production of additional Unity population units on the planet as resources allow. Our first colony is a success. A great day for the Lost Moon unification. Indeed it is. Ah, wonderful. We got a tiny little place. Right, okay. So, first up, I'd really like to rename you. There we go. And the star name. Les Idris. There we are. And it's going to take us a little while. Our hardy pioneers are establishing a foothold on this planet. This process costs 8 energy each month and will take approximately 60 months to complete. Quite the pain in the bum. Quite the pain in the bum. Production error. This planet is being colonized. Indeed it is. Now it's going to take us a while before we can build any populations here, but yeah, it's fine. It is now ours, so our construction ship can go about its merry way building up mining stations. And given that this is now a foothold for us, I would additionally like you to build a wormhole station on the edge of the galaxy. Well, they will do. On the edge of the system, rather. Okay, that's all we're going to need there, I think. We've got a bunch of forces here. Let's just merge these ships, please. There we go. They're now getting to the point where getting an admiral would make a bit of sense for us. Right. Construction complete. The spaceport of Aavakis has finished the construction queue. Marvelous. We've got 6 ships there, all waiting to do our bidding. Good times are these. Comet sighted. Planet-side Unity units on Aavakis report the sighting of a small icy solar system body exhibiting outgassing at 2 hours 54 minutes, 8 seconds, right ascension, 10.3 degrees declination. You get a very different message if you're not machines, and I love that. That's amazing. The distance of the body has been triangulated at roughly 3.75 astronomical units to the sun, and the size and visibility of the body's coma have been classified as noteworthy. The body's dimensions are calculated to be approximately 5 by 10 by 6 kilometers. The sighting event concluded without incident. That's amazing. Previously, I'm fairly certain that if your people see this, they'll either take it as a good omen or a bad omen, or they'll just be happy about it because it's a beautiful thing to see. And the machine's like, yeah, we've calculated everything of any particular note of it, and yeah, so we gained unity. That's fine. I'm completely okay with gaining unity from that. That was glorious.
Technological acquisition successful.
Marvelous. Archaeological project completed. Most of the remains of the derelict Ute colony ship that orbits Litrin are in poor condition, but our archaeologists managed to recover the vessel's sublight engines. The Ute never breached the light barrier, depending instead on cryotechnology and 1,000-year-long natural lifespans to spread their empire across the stars. An interesting find. You gain a bunch of physics research and 1 artifact. Marvelous. Technology research. We have completed the research of fusion missiles. Hooray! Now we can redesign some ships. Also, we can pick the next thing we want. There we go. We have now got the Betharian power plant. It'll produce 10 units of energy, and we can get 2 of those on that planet. That is amazing. Okay, yeah, that's the most obvious thing that we need to do right now. But before we do anything else, I would like to go and have a look on this one. Go to, and specifically, I would like my level 3 scientist to go here and conduct the research project. Marvelous. Okay, we're starting to spread out. It took us a while, but we're doing it. At this point, though, now that we're actually starting to get some ships in here, they're not going to be particularly good ships. But we're going to design some new corvettes. We're going to make a new design for the corvette. And is there anywhere where I save the name? There we go. This corvette. We've got only 2 people have requested corvette class ships. Delcuros. There we go. Now, as for this, we need to select a section. There's only really one for a corvette. It is a corvette. We'll have 3 small weapons, 3 small, 2 medium, and 1 armor utility slot. We can select all of the things over here, but honestly, we've already got the best that we've got. And the only missile that we have are fusion missiles. So we're just going to load it down with the best missiles that we currently have. Now, you could, if you were so inclined, give it a lot of power. Now, on the small, this only generates 10. On a medium, it generates 20. So there we go. 20 power. I could overpower it, and it would gain various bonuses, like 5%. We've got excess power plus 5%. Excess power plus 5% on our evasion. Armor, that doesn't change really. Damage, excess power plus 5%. We have all sorts of things that we can get from more power. Like, if we drop all of this down, does it really make any appreciable impact? Not really. Not really. It brings us up to 7%. So what we're paying for that is 5 extra minerals per power unit. Does that really help us out? Not really, I don't think. Let's bring this down. The maintenance, because obviously the more impressive, more complex a ship is, the more you're going to pay for it over a long period of time. If it was only the basic cost, then I would say there is never a reason not to, unless you're incredibly mineral poor. But considering we're going to be constantly paying for this, and most of the time they're not going to be in war, let's not go too OTT. I think having this one isn't necessarily a bad idea, though. It does increase it by 0.04 on both energy and mineral maintenance, but I think I'm all right with that, honestly. So there we go. There's our new ship. Save it. There we are. And we are going to drop the Corvette, the original. There we go. It's gone. We will also upgrade all of our current ships to the new system. Right, we've got the energy grid down there. I would kind of like someone... Well, you're already going to be there shortly. So that's fine. Uplink node is on its way. So overall, I think we're not doing a bad job here. I could start expanding out, and in fact, I think I'm going to clear this one. It'll take a little bit of time to get that one cleared. And also minerals are a fair desire right now. Right, let's get the Delcuros class Corvette out into production, and then we'll upgrade the current fleet that we have as soon as it's with them. And on that note, I think we're actually in a fairly good position to wrap things up. Let me have a quick look. We've got 50 months yet. Ooh, what's happening there? Inactive buildings. Yeah, that does suck a little bit, doesn't it? We could actually move you up there so that we're just generating more unity. But the power is the main thing that we actually care about right now. So I'm going to keep you down there on that facility for when it's ready. There we go. The Spaceport Aavak has built our first and best Corvette. Let's have a quick look at you. Now we can upgrade this. It'll only cost 69 minerals because it's only upgrading the ship. So there we are. Get all of those set up. You don't need to upgrade. Don't be silly. You've just been built. But there we are. Okay, I think we're more or less ready to roll. The fleet has been upgraded. Good. Our science ships are all busy. Double good. Our new planet has got many months before it is ready, but we're generating a decent amount of unity now. It'll get better as time goes on. In fact, let's just double check how that's affected it. We've now up to 23 months. We literally doubled our output. So that will help a little bit. We'll possibly have that done before we get the new planet done. And at that point, we're going to be increasing our survey speed. But that is it for this episode. I do hope you've all enjoyed and will be looking forward to the next, where progress is going to start speeding up. Unfortunately, this has been a fairly slow expansion, again, because I'm aiming for a more tall empire than a wide one. And it is only slightly because of that famous poem. Here lies a toppled god, his fall was not a small one. We did but build his pedestal, a narrow and a tall one. And with that, we're going to wrap the episode up. So until next time we meet, do take care.